It's that time again. It's time for the VCB podcast with your hosts, Jason Smith and Ronaldo Villarreal. Summer is coming close to being over, but the fun never stops here at VCB. We have a lot to talk about, some summer adventures, and some cold winter ones are coming. But before we get started, let me go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Ronaldo Villarreal. What's up, Ray?
How's it going, Jason?
Another day at the office. More conversations going on about how we can build community, which is always a topic I love to talk about. And we're going to share some stuff today about that, about how we build community around here.
Excited.
Definitely excited. What's going on in your world, Ray? I know the kids are back in school.
The kids are back in school. It is, it's a learning adjustment for them. It's Stella's first year in preschool, and balancing that out as, you know, a blind dad and having, you know, a sighted, you know, supporter, and having my kids go to two different school sites.
It's funny because it's beginning and end. So you got kindergarten starting, preschool starting. I have a senior.
Yep.
And this starts the trend for me of like 3 seniors coming up in the next 3 years, bro.
Yeah.
And or 4 years, I think. I think I get 1 year break, and then it's like I get slammed with another senior, and then another senior after that. So, and not to stress you and the wife out, but yeah, it's expensive, bro.
We're learning that right now. It's like even just, you know, getting them their lunch pails and their water bottles that they need for class, and they want this specific one, and the backpack, and then the shoes, and then
senior pictures, grad night, sunset. Class rings, proms, cap and gowns. Yeah, dude, I'm like, okay, and we have 3 coming. I was like,
GoFundMe. Come see Jason's GoFundMe account.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a GoFundMe. Speaking of family and life and wife, we have the wonderful Alexandria Villarreal joining us today. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
You know, Alex does such an amazing job at outreach, and this is an outreach moment, I think. I think this definitely chalks up. We're going to be talking about things that already happened, but it's things that are going to be reoccurring so we can get the word out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I always got to thank you for just keeping him in line when I'm not around. So
always.
Okay. Ray needs babysitters for his kids and himself sometimes. It's okay.
Yes.
Always. I'm not even gonna lie. Make sure you feed me though. That's that's very important.
So as we get started, we always want to remind you that we have myvcb.org. That's myvcb.org. There you could find everything that's happening at VCB and then some. But remember, our calendar's there. It lets you know about all of our community events, whether you're into books, you want to be a part of book club, game night for game nights, lunch bunch. We have the YA group, so if you're a young adult, you might want to check that out. It's a lot of fun. Meet people in your age demographic and start building your community. Am I missing something?
What are we missing?
I did. Oh, the community call. The community call. Yeah, our standard community call
with Alvin.
Tea time talk.
Oh, tea.
I always forget coffee with Alvin. That's fine. He'll message me, dude, you didn't mention coffee with Alvin. I'm like, I did mention coffee with Alvin. Coffee and Alvin's great.
You didn't mention it loud enough.
Right.
It's like, Alvin.
Well, if he wants to be picky, we mentioned it 3 times already in the last minute.
There you go.
There you go.
Coffee with Alvin. Don't miss it. Alvin's, we always say it here. You'll hear us give Alvin a bad time, but Alvin's one of the best people that I've ever met. Mm-hmm. Like he is, especially as it pertains to the community of VCB. If you don't know Alvin, you're missing out. So definitely check out Coffee with Alvin.
Yep.
All right. We also want to bring up some information that is important to our community, and that is about our DEP line. We have it open. It's 1-888-468-9115. That's 1-888-468-9115. If you're looking for anything that you need help for in your community as it pertains, you know, maybe some help with your electric or food stamps or anything that you may need and you're going through a hard time, you can call our DEP line. It's a great resource, but we also want to let you know that it's a trusted messenger line as well. Ray, you want to go ahead and explain that to them?
Yeah, thank you, Jason. So our DEP line is an extension to our agency's outreach, you know, where we communicate with our community about helpful and helpful tips and resources. So sometimes you might actually receive calls from our DEP line. So if you see that, number 888-468-9115 number, there you go. I got it.
I'm over here nodding my head for those who can't see me. I'm like, you're on it. You're doing it.
It's like, I got it. If you see that number come through, please, just give it a shot. Listen, those are, wonderful agents. They are a part of our community. They are former clients, so for those that have been with training, they worked hard to get to where they are. So they just want to spread some messages that we have for the community that we, feel that's helpful. So, and then if you need something, you can also ask them and they'll help you get connected.
So that number again, so I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds here to grab a tablet or grab your Victor Reader and record this in. It's 1-888-468-9115. That's 1-888-468-9115. Record that in your Victor Reader or type it in one of your note messengers on your tablet. That way you could plug it into your phone. That way you're able to know when we're calling and maybe doing some type of outreach or giving you a message of what's happening at VCB.
Yeah, they'll tell you about even like events that we have. Shout out to like our White Cane Day coming up. Beep, beep.
White Cane Day. Oh man, if you guys have been to the last two, if you guys have been to the last two, then you know how it just keeps getting better and better.
I just go for the tacos.
And hey,
I go for the community.
You cannot deny the tacos. We're going to have someone from that committee come on and really get us some more details here, probably within the next month. Well, I know I'm going to give them time because I know like this crunch time right now, they're still fine tuning some things, I'm sure. But once we get, let's do it this way. Next month's episode, for sure.
Yep.
We will be getting heavy on
White
Cane Day. It'll be a White Cane Day episode.
There you go.
Because we're going to be gearing up for one of the biggest events that VCB has now thrown on a yearly basis.
Definitely. Also, real quick before I forget, we were getting some, trying to get some stats and helping us out and things like that. One of the cool stats I just saw recently, and again, it's just stats. There's no personal information. Shout out to those Victor Reader listeners.
Right? Right? You saw that? I was like, wow.
I saw that. So I'm like, wow, I'm very impressed. I'm very appreciative for those that are listening to us on the podcast on their Victor Readers, and also shout out to the instructors for helping students, because I know that sometimes what happens is the instructors, they introduce the Victor Reader and get the podcast.
More than thanking them, continue to do so, please.
Yes, please do so.
Alvin and the team, seriously, thank you, but keep it going because I think I love podcasting. I'm definitely biased. But at the same time, it's a great way for us to consume entertainment.
Yeah.
And gather information. That's one of the reasons we love doing this podcast, because it's one of the best ways to get our message across, because it's all audio.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for the support. And thank you, Victor Reader, because, that's a popular device anyway, but being able to get the podcast on it is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. All right. I think that covers our... You have anything, Alex? You do outreach. You got anything coming up you want to talk about before we move on?
Right now, my focus is just the White Cane Day.
The White Cane Day.
Yeah.
Clovis Fest.
Clovis West?
Clovis Fest.
Clovis Fest.
Isn't that the
Clovis Fest is in September, right before White Cane Day.
Right before White Cane Day. What's going on at Clovis Fest? What can you share with us?
So we'll be out there both Saturday and Sunday. I believe it's the last weekend of September. Just bringing awareness to the community, I love being out there. I love meeting the people. I know last year when we went, I think last year was the first year that I had done Clovis Fest, and the experience and the people, the connections that were made just by being there was absolutely amazing. So I'm excited to be there this year again.
That's awesome. And that's in September? When about in September?
I believe it's the last weekend of September.
Oh, great.
I'll have to double check on the dates, but yeah, I believe it's the last weekend of September. That's what it was last year.
That's awesome.
So it's right before White Cane Day. So it's like
bang, bang.
They merged together for me in my brain.
Yeah, no, for sure. I get it. So, but Clovis Fest is a great way, even for us to go out there and support Alex in her outreach support, going out there and just being present. And so like when people walk up, they're not only seeing Alex and getting all this wonderful information, but they're seeing us out there enjoying ourselves, and they may have more questions that we can answer. So it's a great way to support, is to kind of go out to these community events that are not particularly VCB community events, but just to get ourselves out there to show our skills and how VCB impacts our life.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I can say about it is, every time I go to these events, it never fails that they're like, well, I know someone, or, oh, my mom, or, oh, my grandma, or, oh, can you help with this, or can you help with that? And like 9 times out of 10, we can.
100%.
So.
And speaking of impacting lives, today's episode is all about adaptive sports. You guys have heard me talk about this endlessly on this podcast. I will continue to talk about adaptive sports because not only has it impacted my life in several different areas, I know that it has impacted our community in a huge way. And I thought we just finished up our summer program where we got to go up twice. Mm-hmm. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to share with you our experience, what has happened. In this last trip that we went up, we had a great time because all 3 of us on this podcast today attended.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it'd be a great way for us to kind of talk about our personal experience, what we saw, and what people can expect and how it can impact them or someone they know. Mm-hmm. So kick it off, Alex. Give us your general thought of your first experience up at Adaptive Sports yourself as a chaperone.
Before going, I really didn't know what to expect. I've heard a lot of great stories come out of adaptive sports. So being this being my first year, going up there, I was probably just as nervous as everybody else that was going up there for the first time. I know we had a couple of people that were returning.
Yeah.
But I felt uneasy because I'm always like, oh, if I don't know what to expect, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know, and seeing that in the individuals that were there, it was just, I was like right there with you guys.
Yeah, right.
And then we get there, and the first day it was very nerve-wracking. You don't know, again, what to expect, what's going on. But the staff there was super amazing, super friendly, understanding and absolutely helpful. I was just impressed by these people that were working out there, and their willingness to help, and their heart is in it. Their hearts are really in it.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Yeah. I loved that for the people that were out there, the individuals that came. So from day 1 all the way to day, what was it? 3, 2?
2, 3.
Yeah.
2, 3. Yeah. To the last day, the flip of a switch in these kids that were there. Amazing. Seeing them make connections with each other and realizing, oh, we are around the same age. Oh, let's hang out.
Yeah.
Hey, let's keep in contact even after this. And it was just a great way for them to build relationships and build community amongst each other. So
on top of all the other stuff that comes along with it.
Oh,
right?
yeah. All the fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. The confidence building, the trust. It's crazy.
It was very impressive to see. Like I said, they were so tentative and so timid, unsure. And from one day to the next, even the second day there, it was like they were whole new people.
Yeah.
And Ray, before we get your perspective, before you get deep on this conversation, hopefully not as deep as your GoPro, but I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. I've been sitting here the whole time Alex has been talking and how am I going to bring it up? How am I going to bring it up? Should I say, Ray, I'm going to get your opinion, but I don't want you to sink this one? Or okay, without further ado, Ray, without getting too deep, my friend, how was your experience?
Jason, with all that is said, my experience was tremendous. It was very impactful again to me. It's been a while since I've been out there with Randy and his group at Adaptive Sports. I think the last time I was out there was before the pandemic. and before the big fires in that
Yeah.
area, which
Yeah.
it was a little taking it back for me to see the changes there, but it is it hasn't slowed Randy and his group in adaptive sports at all. It has just allowed them to continue to grow, and the program is amazing. Like Alex said, and you say, it is it changes lives. Even just from the ride up there, introducing yourself to the different participants and hearing their stories, a little bit of like where they're coming from and what to expect, and they're being very quiet and shy about everything.
Yeah.
To the ride back. Ride back home, it is a 180 change,
Yeah.
360, is whatever it is. You can see that these kids and these adults, as well, have been impacted for the better.
Yeah, it's my experience the past 2 years. I've had such an amazing opportunity to be a part of this program, and even with the returning clients that we brought up, it still continues to impact them and change them and bring even more out of them than they thought that they. For example, we brought up Alonzo, Lou, and Leon right off the top of my head that were returning from last year. And their experience was, as much as it was the same, it wasn't, right? Like, because they're around other people. And what I want all three of those individuals to know right now is that you took steps into leadership in a way, as far as, being an blind person in the outdoors.
Yeah.
For two of those individuals, Alonzo and Lou, they're totally blind. And they are two of the most standout adaptive sports clients that we have. They've both done the winter program. They've both done the summer program. And these guys are naturals.
Yeah.
Naturals. On the paddleboard. Pop right up. They don't fall. They're cruising, Maybe we should have gave them the GoPro. I'm always going to do it. Sorry. I can't help myself. But they rock climb. When they went to the snow and did the snow program, they were flawless. They didn't fall. Like they were down the hill. They're first ones to complete their training. The first ones to go up the ramp and come down the hill.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're motivators, right? They're leading by example, and their courage and their confidence in themselves and in that staff, Randy's staff. So I want to give a big shout out to Husan. He was new up there today, this year. Grant was new up there this year, and Taylor was new up there this year. All of them, you would think that they've been there the whole time the thing's been open.
Yeah, definitely.
It's still ran by Alex. I want to thank Alexis. I did that last time because I'm so used to calling you Alex. She told me Alexis. So I'd like to thank Alexis and Addie. They're sisters, but they are the returning leadership up there. And all five of those names that I mentioned are life changers, led by a man named Randy Kaufman, who founded and got this whole thing started, who has a point of emphasis when it comes to not how they treat us just as blind individuals, right? But just disabilities in general. There's so many, he serves so many different communities, whether it's our veterans, people that are wheelchair bound. He gets them on paddle boards. He gets them on canoes. He gets them on sit skis. Whatever it takes, he finds a way to make it happen, and he's changing life. He has so many amazing stories. My goal this year is to get Randy on a sit-down podcast.
Yep. I 100%, 110% agree that Randy needs to get on a podcast.
Yes.
So, but you're saying it really well, Jason. It's like this program, we keep hyping on it, but it's true. It is creating those leaders. It is impacting new individuals to want to become leaders, and also building basically reassuring them that they're able to do something, even without their vision, and also saying, the training is needed. It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing to go get O&M training. It's not a bad thing
Right.
to learn AT and AT work. And it might be sometimes it's not always the funnest thing, but when you get those trainings, you're able to do things like going to adapted sports,
Correct.
going to the movies.
Yeah.
There's so much. So it's a wonderful thing to experience within like 2 nights, 3 days. It's crazy.
2 nights, 3 days.
How much change comes out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just it and even so, just from the time we get there to the very next day, the change that you see in these individuals, it's insane. The confidence that just, it's like a light switch just goes off, you know. And I'm gonna go back to what you were saying about these 5 individuals. Their heart is really in what they're doing for these kids,
And that starts from the
adults.
top.
And yeah,
It starts-
absolutely.
It's Randy's leadership.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I've told that a million times to Randy. Like, I can't express it enough, and I want him to understand how much that we appreciate his attention to detail, especially as it pertains to taking care of us and making sure that we're safe and giving us confidence.
Yeah.
Because I said it on another podcast. I was actually talking about this, and I said, as someone when you're losing your sight, because I definitely went through this as a personal experience. I felt like I lost myself. I lost the identity. Who am I? I didn't want to be known as just Jason, the legally blind guy, right? Although I'm very proud now to be Jason, the legally blind guy, but at the same time, where do I fit in? You know, what could I take from my past that I can now make my future and change the narrative of how people view us in the community? Adaptive Sports does that.
Yeah.
You know, especially for these younger kids. You know, I mean, I'm honest. I before I even started to turn and go legally blind and really lose my vision, I was rock climbing, I was rappelling, I was doing a lot of outdoor activity. I never kayak, never paddleboard. I did used to water ski. I only snow skied one time, but to have that experience, to get that reintroduced to me, it makes me feel like, hey, I could still be that guy.
Yeah.
I could still be that guy. And for a lot of these kids, and I know a couple in particular, that's kind of who they are now. They're the what is it? What do they call the extreme sports guys now, right?
Yeah.
And both people that I'm talking about that are those extremists right now, they're totally blind.
Yeah.
And they're gonna conquer this, dude. They're not done. They just barely getting started in this thing.
Yeah.
Just scratch the surface.
Yeah. Identity. They found themselves. They have an identity now.
Yeah. Let's talk about what was like a shock for me. Well, not a shock, but was like, oh my gosh, this again, the program's growing. Actually, just seeing the campground. Oh my gosh! I'm telling you guys, I have not been there since the beginning of or before the pandemic even started. Before the pandemic was anything.
You
I think
haven't been there since before you had kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
I haven't been there. That was the other thing. Is I was there like 4 years now. It's probably
Yeah.
four years
It was
ago.
2019, I think, early 2019.
Early 2019.
Yeah.
And they were just getting the ground started in the area. They had the tents, and it was still dirt, and it was like you're going out camping, and then they had the nice fireplace and the campground and the little kitchen area. But now going back for me,
Yeah.
seeing the pavement that they put out there, the
pavers, the paths.
the pathways, the raised tent areas, just I was telling Alex, to get prepared. It's like, oh yeah, it's like roughing it a little bit. No, it's glamping. It's glamping. I'm sorry. It is some glamping style stuff right there.
It's glamping without the glamping though, because it's because remember the community that it serves, right? You're still out there. There's porta potties.
Yes, there's
There's
porta potties.
there's no real shower. I
Yeah.
mean, all your food is off of, it's from scratch out there. Like there's bugs, there's mosquitoes, there's bees, there's
No
the
more
Glennon.
bees. They moved the bees. I heard.
Yeah, they did. They do a great job up there. I'm just saying, like, I don't want people to think that they're going to the Motel 6 that when they leave the light on for you or whatever it is, right? It's camping, bro.
You get the whole feel, but it's a
comfortable.
comfort.
Yeah, it's
like being able to have like the pathers help me get to my tent, because as long as I feel like I'm on those pathers, I'm not, dirt can disorientate you, at night, and having the pathers there to, it's like, okay, I'm still on some kind of pathway. So I'm in the area that I need to get to. Having the lanterns available,
Yes.
to highlight your where you are and where the tents are. Having, the wash stations available in an area that's reasonable for you. It allows you to just enjoy the environment, listen to the water, the boats running in the water early in the morning, the creek, noises, the running creek noises, hearing the birds, just it's amazing how they set that up so well.
The word you're looking for is accessibility.
It's accessible.
100%
And
accessible.
they're continuing to do that.
Yeah.
It's not the end for
They're
them.
building on it.
They're building. And like I was saying, I was like, man, this is like the wood chips too. To help reduce the dust. The dust in the area. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
That's a very nice touch.
Yep. And the cool thing is too, is like, because one of my favorite things about being up there, I use the word tranquility a lot. Like it is, I find my pockets of tranquility. I go up as a leader. Yes, I get to enjoy the activities with everybody and have the same experience. Although there's that little sense of responsibility that's on you because their safety and all that is on me too. So I always look for my pockets where I could take it all in. And my biggest thing is I get up. I'm one of the first ones up. I grab my cup of coffee. If you follow me on Facebook, I always post a picture of me and my coffee cup looking out over the lake with the sunset going over the trees in the background to try to, audio describe that for people. It's quiet. I have some of my best conversations with Randy in those moments. And Alexis and some of the other staff.
Because they're up early too to prepare for the day.
Yeah,
they
put a lot of work in.
Oh, they do.
And they're always asking questions, and they're always looking on how they can improve. And I enjoy those times so much. But then the sun falls right now the sunset, and it's just as beautiful. But we're all around the campfire, so I get that morning. I take it in. It's like my personal time to reflect, not only about myself, but what I saw from the clients that we take up there, talking to the staff. But then the night comes and I get to sit around with everybody and we play games. Thank you, Ray. Ray. Let's play. You would be surprised at how smart people are when you ask them, what was that game that we played, Ray? What was that?
The 21 question game?
The 21 question game where people say, where is it at on Earth? Like some of the stuff that they were coming up with to block you from figuring out the answer. This was hilarious.
The creativeness.
Oh yeah.
But just getting the stories right, just that's where the bonding happens. I don't know if you guys realize that, because like it's everything that comes together. There's different pockets of things happening during the day, but when we all gather up around the campfire, and anybody who's experienced camping, the campfire is always that family feel, that warm feeling of the fire. Everybody's
the
s'mores. Like it really brings everybody together. And what I want to get your guys' experience, because that was your guys' first time up there. Well, not your first time, Ray, but like in a while, and seeing this new format and all this stuff. What was your guys' thoughts on you guys? Alex, you go first. We always hear from Ray. I'm gonna give it to you. Like, what was your feeling around the campfire?
It was warmth and happiness. That first night you could feel the uneasiness of everyone, including myself. But that second night, just sitting around with everyone and hearing, oh my gosh, this, or oh, I did that today, and this was really enjoyable, and hearing those stories, and just being around everyone, the warmth, and it is very much a family like dynamic there, sitting around that campfire and really getting personal, with everyone, and it's something so special. Like, it's not something that can truly be explained. I definitely encourage people who haven't gone to go, even if you're going as a chaperone or a volunteer. Like it's really changed the way I look at things. If anything, it's solidified why I'm here.
Yeah. It is a great place to reflect. What about you, Ray?
Oh, it's same. It reminded me of my childhood. And I've been blessed to, have parents that have been inclusive and helped me, be just live a normal life, and being able to go camping, as a child, and going as an adult and reflecting on like how amazing this is. And being able to hear these new coming students that never have done this,
Yeah.
and these programs, are allowing them to experience a normal life,
Yeah.
getting that experience of, oh yeah, I went camping as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I did fishing. Oh yeah, I went kayaking. I went swimming in the water, and I
Yeah.
roughed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Those are core memories that they're developing there.
Yeah.
And that campground is one of the biggest things that happens there. Is like
100%. The
Yeah.
whole town knows about it.
the whole you have all the smells. You get to breathe in that smoke that gets in you for the first time. You're lighting the campfire, and you go home and you're trying to wash that off, but you
Yeah.
have that memory.
Yeah.
And hearing Ace share her story, or share their stories about just the day of like, yeah, I was nervous about kayaking, but now I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Hearing Lou and having his leadership show, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's like laid back now. He's like, yeah,
He's
it's
so
Zoom.
chill.
He's so
Lou's
chill.
He's
And-
my boy, Lou
and then-
Dog. I know Lou Dog
Lou Dog.
listens. Lou Dog
Yeah.
listens. So what's up, Lou?
But also having the staff continue to ask questions with us too, and participate.
Yeah.
And they have the ability just to go finish doing their chores. As the staff, they have get ready for the next day. But they go do it. They come back and hang out with us and talk to us, and they stay up the whole time with us. They're just
Yeah.
sitting around and just bringing up stories and say how what can we do better next time.
Yeah.
That's also the great thing.
Yep. And for me to pull back to current a little bit, we joked about it, but it was like a couples retreat. So we had 2 chaperones, right? Which was Alex and my wife Catherine, and we had 2 VCB leadership up there as counselors,
Yeah.
Ray and I, which are the husbands. But it was fun. I think it was a good bonding time for all of us, and especially my wife works for the school district.
Yeah.
And she works with Lou and Giselle, who we brought up there. And so I know a lot about them. I spent a lot of time with them. And one of the coolest moments at camp this last trip was it was in the morning, and I was just getting probably my 3rd cup of coffee because I just love having coffee in the outdoors. But I was walking around on the pass on the way onto the side, and I see Catherine. She's leading Ace, Lou, and Giselle. And most of the time you see people being guided, right? Like all 3 of these wonderful clients were independently using their cane skills to navigate from their tent to the campfire for the morning. And I was just like, it almost looked like a parade. So I saw Catherine in the front, and she was telling them, hey, remember this to your right or left. She was giving them all the cues, but they were using their cane skills.
Yeah.
And I'm going to promise you, for people that are young in blindness, that is huge to have to feel that comfortable and to show that much confidence. It was a moment for me where I was just like, I could live up here. I could bring these people up every single day. And again, it's a testament not only to adaptive sports that we're talking about, but it's making that connection to VCB, right? Because what it is that we do is that we help people become independent, right? We teach them the AT skills like Ray was talking about. We offer them O&M training. We offer them ILS skills to be able to navigate and understand how they can cook for themselves and eat and work utensils, all that.
Yeah.
And you see it all come together in this one beautiful environment. And honestly, even though this is a piece of what we do and it helps these kids take that next step, especially in confidence, but you see all the stuff that we offer come together,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Come together in one
All your
space.
skill sets are
all-
being put together.
Yeah.
And you're being challenged and being developed.
And for those who are thinking, well, how does AT fit in that? Well, I mean, if you have an Apple Watch, you can track your stuff there.
Just steps.
Right.
The amount of,
Steps.
strokes that you had to do for kayaking,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you can do with technology. Even though we disconnect a lot out there,
Yeah.
it allows us. It's like, oh, I want to be able to message this person.
But what about the process getting there?
Mhm.
Like you have to go online. You have to fill out the forms.
Yep.
You have to sign the papers, right? For some, they travel. They have to book an Amtrak. They have to get down to the center. They have to find and navigate their way to the center and back home. So all of it just comes together in one big experience.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. We could do this all day, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'll start to head this off, but I want to say this. Okay, the season's over as far as 2023 goes, but 2024 is shortly around the corner, which means our winter program will start. Adaptive Sports Winter Program, which is a day trip only. Where
That's all you need.
Yeah,
Just to be honest with you. That's all you need.
You're not camping in the snow. We're not staying in igloos. They don't have the igloos. They don't have the igloos built yet, but it's amazing. It's just amazing that you want to talk about just the smells, the clean air, just everything. Like it's amazing. Retreat. If you are interested in experience what it's like to do blind skiing, it's fun. And they take baby steps. They don't just throw you out there on a hill and push you down the mountain. Although I've thought about doing that to Ray a couple times.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Get in line.
But start reaching out. Call the center, ask for Jamie or myself, get on a list, call your counselors, your counselors, let your DOR person know, hey, I want to check out the Adaptive Sports Winter Program. And I also want to put this out here because this was asked a couple of times by some people up there. Look, this is something that we put on to give you the opportunity to have an experience of a lifetime, to take the skills that you've learned and grow and gain confidence. But you and your family can enjoy adaptive sports too. You guys don't need us to take you up there. You guys can reach out to the Central California Adaptive Sports Program online. You can email them, set up a day trip. You can set up a weekend trip with your family. Just contact Randy and get it going.
Yep.
Get it going. Experience it. We can take, you have that one time you go up with us, but then you could bring your family and be a part of it and continue to make this part of your summer vacations, your winter vacations. And, as far as the winter program, get on the list now because we have to communicate with Randy and try to set up these dates. We got to figure it out so he could staff and everything. So the more we get our interest list going, the quicker it is for us to put something together to let Randy know.
Yeah, and it helps us get more dates too, because the more individuals that we get, the more dates that we need to request.
We can book. Yes. Yes, and it's an experience you don't want to. But so as we wrap this up, one time around the horn, we'll start with you, Alex. Final thoughts about adaptive sports and how it changes lives for people who are dealing with sight loss.
I'm going to go back to saying it again. It's the heart in the leadership, the heart in the staff. It truly, truly is impactful work that they're doing, and the fact that these individuals, they choose to be there. They choose to do this and help others. It just is, it's amazing to me,
Yeah.
And knowing the impact that they're making on people.
That's awesome. Awesome. Ray.
Yeah, for me, it's just, I re-energized, going back as, been away for a little bit, going back and seeing the growth in the program and continuing to see, how it impacts our clients.
Yeah.
And I want to, the agency has made it its mission to make sure that this continues to go.
Yeah.
It's not just one of those things, one and done. It's in our book, our blueprint every year.
Yep.
So continue to encourage people to participate.
Yeah. And my final thoughts is, I can't express enough, the life-changing moments that happen up there. The opportunity to use your O&M skills, to build community, friendships, that last a lifetime, fighting an identity for yourself. These are not easy tasks that we do up there. Paddleboarding, kayaking, rock climbing, all that stuff. It's pretty intense and it's a lot of fun. It's tiring, but it's worth it. But you come back refreshed. You come back focused, not only just for what you just accomplished or what you may be doing in your future, but you want to re-engage. You want to re-engage with the community. And it all, like everybody said, it starts with that camp existing. But it really starts here, right? Yeah. Contact us at 559-222-4447. If you know somebody who has not found us yet that needs to find us, let them know that we're here. Let's get them in. Let's get them adapted into this community so we could take them to adaptive sports. So they could adapt into a whole nother environment and continue to adapt their life around their sight loss and become independent. Mm-hmm. So with that said, we thank you. We appreciate all you and all your support. You could always email us at info@myvcb.org. That's info@myvcb.org. Any more words, Ray, before we bounce? You good?
Let's go.
Are you starting to GoFundMe fund for GoPro?
Another story, another day.
It's a deep conversation we can have later. Swim with the fishes. Anyways, we thank you. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.